Hi, this is Steve Kramer, Superintendent of Madeira City Schools. Thank you for taking a few minutes to learn more about our district and our district's finances. First and foremost, we are proud of the work of our students. A combination of a highly qualified and dedicated staff, involved parents, and an extremely supportive community give our students great opportunities for success. Each and every year, our seniors earn millions of dollars in scholarship offers from colleges across the country. Our schools are consistently rated and recognized locally, statewide, and nationally. Most recently, we are very proud of the business partnerships we have developed, giving our students hands-on opportunities to apply classroom learning. One indicator of our student success is from the Ohio Department of Education, referred to as the Performance Index. The Performance Index score measures a school district's assessment results across all tested grades and all tested subject areas, and calculates how well our students scored in each of our subject areas. Madeira's overall district performance index is among the best in the state and has steadily increased over the past 5 years. To put this in perspective, as we benchmark our results against other districts, Madeira's performance index was the 7th highest in the state of Ohio. So let's take a look at the basics of the proposed levy. The proposed operating levy is for 6.9 mills to be used for operating expenses. It will generate an additional $2.18 million per year for our district. When you break it down to the cost to the homeowner, for each $100,000 of market value as determined by the Hamilton County Auditor, a homeowner will pay $209 per year. For our residents over 65, the homestead exemption reduces that rate to $157 per $100,000. Looking at the sources of revenue for Madeira City Schools, you can see that they come from 3 major sources, with nearly 69% of our funds coming from property taxes, 19% coming from the state of Ohio, and 12% coming from a reimbursement for the homestead exemption. Madeira City Schools are facing some major revenue changes beginning with fiscal year 2012. We are looking at a loss of $1.1 million in revenue, $334,000 in business tax loss, $109,000 from electric deregulation, $353,000 from state funding, and an additional $300,000 in federal stimulus funds. This chart illustrates the forecast for our revenue. As you can see, the local revenue, coming mostly from our property taxes, is projected to remain relatively flat, with a reduction for state revenue. In the state of Ohio, school districts receive no additional revenue on voted millage as property values increase, hence the need for school districts to return to voters from time to time to ask for an increase in revenue. Looking at the expense side of the equation, for fiscal year 2012, Madeira has a $16.2 million budget. As you can see by the chart, most of that will be used in the area of salaries and benefit, which is to be expected in the field of education. Purchase services make up 18%. Madeira does outsource a number of its support services, such as transportation, food service, custodial services, with the remaining 6% in materials, equipment, and other capital. Looking at our expense trends over the past 5 years, you can see that they have remained relatively flat, averaging just a 2.4% increase per year. Just as we do academically, we benchmark ourselves against other school districts financially. This chart illustrates our per pupil expenditure compared to 4 other high-performing school districts. And as the chart illustrates, our per pupil expenditure compares very favorably. And in In fact, in most cases, is lower when compared to the other 4 districts. So you may be asking yourself, why a levy and why now? This chart refers to our total revenue and total expenses. The green circled areas indicate points where our district's expenses exceeded revenue. When a district's expenses exceed revenue, additional revenue is needed in order to continue to provide the programs and services our community has come to expect. We are constantly looking for ways to stretch every dollar. Since our last levy 5 years ago, we have put expense control measures in place to manage our resources efficiently and effectively. The chart above illustrates just a few of those. For example, while the health insurance trends would indicate anywhere between an 8 to 14% average increase, the health insurance consortium we belong to has allowed us to manage our costs to a 3% average over the past 6 years. Looking back over the past 10 years, it has truly been a decade of success. The overwhelming passage of a 2004 bond issue allowed the community to build 2 brand new schools and renovate the high school. A private donation of $1.5 million allowed for energy improvements that have resulted in $150,000 annually in energy savings. This was all capped off by the can-do spirit of Madeira with hundreds of volunteer hours and private donations, which led to the complete renovation of the athletic complex at Madeira High School, creating a great space for not only students, but the community as well. To protect our investment in our facilities, we have created a standard of care, a plan that will provide for both the short-term and long-term projects that will be needed to make sure that our facilities are well cared for generations to come. So it all comes down to this. Our students continue to achieve at a very high level. 70% of our district revenue is from local property taxes. Keep in mind, all the taxes from this levy will stay in Madeira. It has been 5 years since our last levy, a levy that was designed to meet our needs for 3 years. The district has a long history of efficient management of its resources. We are facing an additional $1.1 million in lost revenue, and we believe that a successful community depends in a great part upon a successful school system. Thank you again for taking a few minutes to learn more about our district and our district finances. I will be glad to answer any questions you might have. Please feel free to give me a call at 985-6070 or email me at skramer, Kramer, @madeiracityschools.org. Thank you.